Hi everybody, it's our first mailbag segment in the lab. This is just a studio that we use for our other YouTube channel, MBK Upcycle, so check that out. We have just received this dead Nissan LEAF headset in the mail from a lovely fellow in South Australia. Let's open the box, tear the radio apart and see what's inside. Welcome to EV for me. We got this lovely package from a fellow called Rob. He lives in South Australia, and we'll just use Stanley the knife to cut this package open like that. One down the side. Rob imported a Japanese Nissan LEAF, a ZE1, a couple of months ago, and he's got the actual radio or the headset. Whilst converting it to English, he's accidentally fried it, and it doesn't operate anymore. So he's actually been nice enough to send it to us here in Canberra. We'll just open that up. Oh, he's packed it in well. He's done a lovely job. Ooh, what's this? It's just like Christmas. Just get Stanley to open that up a bit more. Ah, it's some kind of board, some internal daughter board or something of that nature. We'll have a look later. We have another package here from Rob. What's in here? And we have another board that goes somewhere in the radio of the Nissan LEAF. Oh, it's blue. Let's open this up. Ah. Another board. Might be some sort of satellite or modulator board, I'm not sure. But it looks like a little tuner here. He's left me a bag of screws. Oh, he has been busy. Look at all those. Lovely. This is the radio itself. We'll open this up. Rip into it with Stanley the knife. Try not to nick the screen. He's wrapped it really well. And this is our Nissan LEAF radio headset. And it's got a slight mark there. I don't know what that is, but yeah. So what we'll do is we'll rip this apart and check it all out. This is our radio headset, the Nissan LEAF ZE1. This is the Japanese version, so if you import a Japanese ZE1 Nissan LEAF from Japan, this is the radio headset you're going to get. Bit of a giveaway here, all the writing's in Japanese, just here, and the basic notation is in English. There is a big difference with the front of the Japanese model. It has a little DVD or CD drive here. You can pop your media in. But the European, the Canadian, USA, I think the Australian version, it doesn't really have this DVD drive here. So we'll just have a look at the top of the unit. If we have a close look here, this is a model number QY-8605. Manufactured in 2017, made in Thailand. So this was one of the first couple of radio headsets that they put in the ZE1 Nissan LEAF when it was released in Japan in 2017, October. As you can see, it's number 1387, so that will probably match the vehicle VIN number as well. And they carried this model all the way through to ZE1 Nissan LEAFs, all the way through to 2019. So made by Clarion, as all good quality car radio equipment is. What we'll do is we'll have a look at the back. Lots of plugs, connectors here. We'll get into that later on. They've got a nice cooling fan here. What we'll actually do is we'll remove this bezel unit here. It has a number of screws around the outside, and we'll break the bezel unit, or the front plastic unit. We'll try and break it away from the actual radio itself, and we'll see how we go. It looks like we've loosened up the back of the bezel, so we'll just slide that back. Okay, it looks like it's got a front frame here. We have some retaining clips here, 3 along the top, so we'll break those away. There's also a couple down the side. They never make this bloody easy. There we go. There's our little silver bezel broken away. We have some more retaining clips here and here, so we'll just peel those up. Same on the bottom. We'll try and peel this away. Oh, and the whole face basically breaks away, and there's the brains of the front panel, and it's all connected through this little connector here. There you go. How neat is that? We've got to remove some more screws here, so we'll just rip into that now. And our plate comes up like that. We're going to rip out the side screws. More on the back. We've ripped the guts of the radio out, and it's actually come out of this chunky piece of metal here, and we've dropped all 3 printed circuit boards here. And this radio, it's referred as many things. It's referred to as a car radio, a headset, a head unit. They actually call it a CID, or Central Information Display. And you know, on the Nissan LEAF, it carries out functions such as car navigation, vehicle info, AM, FM radio. FM is restricted to the 76 to 90 megahertz band, but that is, you know, overcome if you use a band expander. DVD, CD, digital TV in Japan, satellite radio services in other countries. It also has the Nissan Connect service. What that actually does, I have no idea. The application never worked here in Australia, so it's no great loss. So basically, it's like a mini computer, and it has various layers and levels. So what we'll do is we'll quickly go through each of the boards, and we'll break it down in nice simple terms for you. Our first board is our communications board. This is the back of the radio. This is the front of the radio, and you can see that little ribbon cable there, which goes towards our little screen here. And basically, this is a communications board. If we have a look here, we have a little surprise here. It's a SIM card, a very large SIM card, and that just slots into here. And what that actually is, it's for the Nissan Connect services. So just think of that as a normal mobile phone SIM, and this is the actual mobile phone module here. The processor, you'll see RAM there as well, and this module pops out, and very similar on the other side, a little bit more RAM or memory, and you have these board-to-board connectors, and that just mates into here. We'll put him back, but this board here is essentially a mobile phone. That's all you have to consider it as. This is a SIM card. This is a JTAG connector, so they can actually program this whole section, get it to do different things. But this is your Nissan Connect services. I've never used it before, so yeah, someone might be able to enlighten me on that in the comments. Next section is the power supply section. So obviously you may need different voltages to come into here, such as maybe 5 or 3.3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rails that go into the actual circuitry here and power this little mini mobile phone. Flipping the board over, we have another board-to-board connector here and here, and they just mate together, and that enables the different circuit boards to talk to each other. And nothing special on this side of the board, except this little Pioneer chip here. This is a TV chip. It's for terrestrial TV, and I gather the connectors on the back are probably related to that. They're probably satellite connectors or something of that nature. And this enables you to, surprisingly enough, watch TV, terrestrial TV, on your Nissan LEAF headset. So this only really works in Japan, so you can be driving around Tokyo or Nagoya or any other place like that, and you can watch TV on your headset. Why you'd want to watch TV on your headset, I have no idea. It's pretty irresponsible. You take your eyes off the road, but maybe it only comes on when you're in a stopped position. Who knows? So, but basically, that covers this top communications board for the headset. This is our second printed circuit board, the next level down, and this handles all the audio type stuff, all the sound. So we'll have a look at this chip here. This is our little brain or processor chip that controls the whole board here. The next big black chip is an audio digital signal processor. So it processes all the audio digital signals all around the radio. Nice and easy. And then we have a little heatsink assembly for something that's hotter on the other side of the board. We actually have a connector here, and this connector actually takes the battery input of 12 volts, ignition on signal, it outputs the speakers, it controls illumination of the audio unit itself. So this is where all the main power goes in to the actual audio unit. And the second little connector over here this is our antenna connector for our AM or FM radio, and our antenna just basically slots in the back, just like that. Nice and easy. And this is where you plug in your band expander as well, if you want to hear your normal radio stations in Australia or New Zealand on the actual Japanese FM wavelength between 76 and 90 megahertz. So we've finished with this side, so we'll just flip to the other side. On the other side we have our FM tuning circuitry over here, and this big blocky thing hidden behind the heat sinks is a power amplifier chip. It's nice and blocky. It actually has to drive all the speakers, your left and right, front and rear speakers. We have a little filter capacitor here, and a little inductor to regulate the main power line going into this power amplifier chip. So all in all, this board just controls all your audio signals and yeah, just basic radio reception. This is our third PCB or printed circuit board here, and what we have is we have our little processor here. This is another CPU or central processing unit, and it has the associated RAM chips and acts like a bit of a microcomputer. It's what loads the operating system on your headset itself. So basically, you know, it runs the navigation app and the radio application. So it's basically an application processor. Associated with this whole processor assembly and RAM is a video decoder, and then we also have a CAN bus controller chip down here. And a CAN bus controller chip is just a communications chip which allows different parts of the car to talk to each other. So basically the CAN bus goes, you know, from the radio headset down to the BMS or battery management system, which is actually inside the big Nissan LEAF battery itself, which monitors all the battery stats. You may have it go to the instrument cluster just to report information to the instrument cluster, such as battery level, range, and things of that nature. The CAN bus also goes to the vehicle control module, which runs the whole show. So the CAN bus controller chip, you know, controls the stream of information between all these devices on an electric vehicle. We'll look at our connectors now. If we have a look on the very end, we have like a satellite connector here, and then we have an 8-pin auxiliary connector, and you may get auxiliary audio devices in there. We also have micro USB connectors. Okay, what they're used for, I have no idea. And we also have this larger connector here, and this larger connector carries all the rest of the signals, such as camera signals from all the cameras located all over the car. So when you hit reverse and it brings up the picture, the above view picture and behind, just to make sure you don't run into anything. Also carries the CAN bus signals between all those devices in your electric vehicle, and also throws signals to the TCU or telemetry control unit, and that controls range and distance and just that critical data that's, you know, flicked up on the dash and things of that nature. So all the telemetry of the electric vehicle itself. So we have a little burnt patch down here. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at that quickly under the microscope, and we'll see what's happening down on this area of the board. If we have a look here, we have a main application processor here, but if you see here, it looks like something has exploded. That's most likely a filter capacitor which has just failed due to over voltage, or the capacitor has just broken down itself, and it's got super hot and gone through thermonuclear meltdown. So that filter capacitor would have just died a very violent death. The problem is it's caused a whole heap of damage here. It's broken a few tracks and things of that nature. Plus, it's occurred in close proximity to the processor itself. So if the processor's accidentally got a bit of a high voltage to it, the processor would be as dead as a doornail. So it's not really worth fixing this fault. It's really beyond economical repair due to the fact that it's probably given the processor too high voltage, and it could have knocked it out. So yeah, unfortunately, this radio is pretty much kaput. On the other side of that board, we just have our little SD card here, and this isn't the normal SD card that has all the maps and such forth on the Nissan LEAF. This is an internal one, so it could hold the actual firmware or operating system of the actual Nissan LEAF itself. So we'll pop that back in. We also have our little GPS or chip for navigation down here, but really apart from that, and you know, maybe a microcontroller over here, another brain, that's pretty much for this board altogether here. It just passes information to the actual headset via this connector. But they're the core printed circuit boards all finished. So what we'll do is we'll push onto the headset and just the display of it, and we'll have a look at the back of that board and see how that's put together. This is the back of the display unit here. So you see our little display here, and basically very simple. Once again, the main data comes in on these pins here, and up here we have a display controller. This controls the brightness of the actual display on the front. This is your touch controller chip. So whenever you touch anything on the screen, it interprets it, whether you hit AM or FM or change a radio station or whatever. So that's your touch on the actual screen itself. Also, this printed circuit board has a Bluetooth module on it as well. So if you're doing Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it controls all the Bluetooth functions as well on the front screen, which would make sense because you get good reception from the actual front screen itself from behind the bezel. So that's pretty much it. That's all the modules broken down within the radio headset unit. This is the last bit here. This is the chassis, and within the chassis you have our core boards that just plop in like that, and our screen just kind of sits at the front via the ribbon cables. So it all kind of fits together a bit like that. We'll just take this board out. And here we have our DVD drive for your media, and we'll tip him up, and we have our SD card slot for our maps and such forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's all these radios these days are just like a mini computer, just all kind of slot together. Not much difference from your home computer, except it's basically in the format of a radio. As usual, if you want to follow our adventures, go to our Twitter page, EV4Me2. Check that out. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to know when a new vlog is released. And we'll catch you next time.